Hello, it's Brendan from techbuzzireland. Today we have the HUION Inspiroy Dial 2, and that's just the Bluetooth pen tablet powered by pen technology. So the box in the front doesn't tell you a huge amount, gives you a quick idea, and you'll get what this particular product's about. The box itself, limited information on the box. Comes with the main unit itself and a pen, USB-C cable. Always good to see the USB cable. Also got a holder for the pen, and within there it's got a couple of nips. We'll have a look, and some documentation. What does actually come with? A bit more detail. It's got the user's manual. Often the user's manual is not much good to most people. This is a Q603. This is actually quite handy. It gives you a quick idea of how you're actually setting it up. Gives you an option on the side, the power buttons, and what you're actually doing. And the keyboards, won't go into them, and the main unit itself. How it can be connected up via cable or USB, just directly with Bluetooth. And again, the back of the information is just general information, and it also gives something on a warranty card, which is kind of unusual there because you can't actually do anything, but it comes with a 2-year warranty, so we won't fault that too much. More importantly, I suppose, what do you actually get in the box itself? This is the main drawing, what you'd actually draw on itself, and it comes with a pen and there, and it also, as I said, comes with a USB-C cable to connect on it. So what actually is, it's a professional drawing tablet. It offers a sleek modern design, and we'd certainly have to agree with that. It's approximately 26 centimeters by 16 centimeters, with an 18mm thing, so it's fairly slim there. And put that in perspective, here's your typical A4 sheet that everybody's used to printing, for example. So the A4 sheet is slightly bigger, but the idea is there to give, but just put it in a little bit of perspective on the size and the shape of it. On the sides here at the moment, you just got your power on, you've got your Bluetooth button, and you've got your USB-C and the button style, radical button style out. Those buttons are quite good dial controllers, because there's 6 there at the moment on that. And within the dials, you can configure them, zoom in, zoom out, adjust the brush size. So you have all these particular options yourself. And again, the button adjust voice, undo, do or do. And these are all configurable buttons. So you can have the buttons to multi-key buttons, switch functions, screen or brush type thing in the quick menu. So there's a lot of these particular buttons that you can actually adjust themselves. One other good thing about this is, well, through the software itself, you can configure it. So if you're left-handed or right-handed, I'm personally right-handed, but a lot of people would be annoyed if it couldn't. You can actually configure it, and then you're actually working from the opposite side through the software. So that's not a problem as such. Plugging in the cable itself. Cable just plugs in as you would normally, and that just plugs in through, for example, your normal laptop, etc. There is an option of Bluetooth. Bluetooth 5 is actually on it, which gives you about 10-meter range. Personally, I'm not sure of that. It gives an 8-hour, 18-hour options with the battery in the background. I'm not sure about the Bluetooth option, because typically I plug something else per earphones, I walk out of the room and I move around. This particular product, you need the monitor right in front of you at all occasions. So you can't actually do anything without having a monitor in front. So to me, it's a bit, not quite, it's not a niggle to say we don't, not, you know, it's just good to have it, but I wouldn't be inclined to use it as such because of that particular thing. And I suppose it gives a little bit of flexibility to what you're trying to do with it there. And again, as I said, the pen comes there, and it's got options there like a mouse, for example, a left and right option. In the nip itself, this comes so I can go this way or that, whatever your choice. It's good to see it. Within here, you've got spare nips. And just so these comes off, and you can take them out and use them and just put them directly in as required. So there's 5 standard nibs, 5 felt tip nibs, etc., which can provide different types of resistance. Again, this is the touch there at the moment. It's supposed to be paper-like feel there. It's nice and smooth at the moment, and you can probably see an X, which kind of gives a bit of a marker on the unit itself. And we'll give a little bit of a demo how it actually configured. We now have it set up, and all we've really done is we've plugged this particular cable directly in from there into a standard laptop. So nothing unusual there, just normal plug and play, no real things. In the background then we've also downloaded the software directly, and this is specifically for this. On the screen here is, rather than drawing a picture, for example, just took a screenshot, and I'm going to just do a bit of with the pen itself just to show you what's going on. But before we go in, one thing I'm quite common working with a couple of different monitors. So the first thing I would actually do is go into the working area and configure it. So straight away I've configured it to this particular monitor here, so I can actually see what I'm doing, but you can't configure it whatever way it's working around, and that gives you some options there. Rotating at 180 will make it turn it from right-handed to left-handed, so if you were optional, you've that particular option again. And this is actually the tablet itself open. So within there, you can configure it to all the different options. So these particular buttons have these particular options. In the beginning, it's probably worthwhile if you have a second monitor leaving this up to know what you're actually doing and what these are configured for. So you kind of get an idea, the different options, what you can do and whatever shortcuts you actually want itself. So this is easily configurable, etc., giving you some sort of options itself. And again, digital pen, you get the same ideas there to mount you into games mode. Right click, for example. So these are all configurable as required yourself. You don't need this up here, but I do think it's quite handy to give you an idea straight away. If you've got a second one here at the moment, you can configure to two different ideas. When you're using it itself, first thing I'll notice is if you're zooming in, you can actually see the information will come. So there's a small number there telling me the size, and up here is telling me the size. So this configuration, it knows exactly from what particular size where I'm putting the dials. So as I draw a line from here up the whole way, it'll actually see it, so it knows straight away. So when I'm actually using it, we'll just stop here. We'll just draw a line the whole way up here, messing up my drawing. You'll see the numbers down here changing, and the same thing up here. They'll kind of go straight down. But you still have the normal options you want to do. So we'll just go here. We'll just change the color to green, and we'll put in an option in here. Now, one thing it's getting used to is we're all used to in the mouse itself. For a mouse, we're normally used to looking at the screen itself and looking at somewhere else. But in this situation, it's a bit more of a challenge, because one thing I've noticed as well is when you actually look at using the tablet itself and you're moving the pen around, you can kind of draw lines, you can do your bits, but just go down here, you have to be able to see what you're doing, because if you're not looking, and what you see as well is just flagging that particular corner on it there is actually a fingerprint that you can actually see. So that's actually coming up fairly on that, and you can actually flag it in those areas. But changing all the other things, and you can change the style to say, what I find is it takes a while to get used to the options to think, because you have to be looking at this. So you're handwriting here, or you're actually drawing here at the moment. But actually what you have to be doing is watching. That's why we've mentioned the Bluetooth. While it's a really good option on this particular model here, I don't find it that useful for me, simply because of that, etc. But within the keypads that I mentioned before, there's lots of little things that you can go into precision mode, so I can actually delve in and actually go really into the details to see what's actually I'm doing, and all the other features for somebody. It is listed as a professional grade unit. It isn't something you'll take out of the box and it'll work straight away. It will actually work technically without any issues whatsoever. It will work, but it does take practice, because like a keyboard, when you're typing, you have to be watching there. So for me, I have to use this a lot to actually see what the shortcuts are and playing with it, and getting used to the pen, the modes, for example, to know what I'm actually doing, and getting used to them. If you've got a lot of shortcuts, configuring them with these buttons is great help. It is lightweight, it is comfortable to use there at the moment, so it works fairly well. There's no lag whatsoever, so when I'm actually doing anything there, you can see just barely the touching there at the moment it's actually coming up straight away. So it's not as if you're waiting. Is obviously right left hand is actually quite good. I have used it in a presentation before where I was actually flagging specific things. It works quite well. I do like the idea of the configurability, and I do like the idea is I can set what monitor I actually want to use it on there, and it's got lots of other options. Small enough and light enough that and it is solid. It's not going to slip there itself. It's definitely solid, so it's definitely a nice touch. And that's from the Inspiroy Dial 2, a lovely little product, and really nice to see how sensitive, how accurate it is for the pen tips, and it does give the options of additional tips. And the simple little things that they've done is put the angle here at the moment, makes it easier to the USB-C, but you have to get used to having it there looking at the screen, so it's kind of bouncing, and that takes practice. That is not a fault with it, that's just getting through. So thank you for watching Tech Buzz Ireland for Inspiroy Dial 2. Thank you.